this wouldn't be something I'm running in a new party because people think I'm playing a throwback.
You're completely not giving 100%. Yeah, I just don't think you got what it takes, bro.
See, making music ain't for everybody.
Stop trying to do everything, because then you're gonna get stuff that ends up sounding like this.
This is what it means to live in purpose. Yeah, if you ain't know, and all it ever took me was some focus. Yeah, if you ain't know, he told me spit the word without a pulpit. Yeah, if you ain't know, so I ain't letting go of my anointment. Yeah, if you ain't know, you already know what time it never is. Let go. I'm serving scriptures to the bodies that be lost in the street. Man, I ain't letting go of nothing, this the gospel to me. I'm never quitting, man, I'm right where I'm supposed to be. I'm focused on my mission like I'm Moses walking straight through the sea. I got a pocket full of pennies cause my soul changed. Even that, my Lord's never joined the dope game. Now I'm getting real comfy, let the coat hang. You know I'm in the building, man, I'm about to blow like propane. If all this rapping's an issue, then you could grab a tissue. I'm saving lives with these verses, man, I won't even diss you. You got some hate on your spirit, man, it don't even fit you. You better step out my presence or else my God will fix you. Just know I'm living in purpose to every single daughter. I ain't gonna wait till you give it, man, I'ma take my flowers. Don't need no trophies or glory because he gave me power. I'll just keep repping the kingdom until the final hour. Purpose. Yeah, if you ain't know, and all it ever took me was some focus. Yeah, if you ain't know, he told me spit the word without a pulpit. Yeah, if you ain't know, so I ain't letting go of my anointment. Yeah, if you ain't know, never let go.
My purpose, man, it's locked down. Can't take it from me, no, not now. Ain't no way I'ma walk out. I'm fighting on for my God's crown. Got a problem with it, that's on you. Get behind me, Satan, watch God do everything that he said he would, and that's all faith, yeah, understood. Yeah, got a calling, we're showing up. Evil spirit need to step down, otherwise I'll be pulling up. Aftermath, y'all see the blood dripping down, got no love for the enemy. Holy, you better be telling my old self that he's dead to me. See these orders coming in, telling me to go spread the message. You can't tie me down, check it, we moving to the objective. With anointed sound, getting prophetic, y'all can't reject it. But with God, we make a move strictly because he said it. Woo. Ignore all the people that don't want to see you do it for the kingdom. Glory be given to God, and we don't deserve it. When the yank comes, he's putting his heel right on the back of the neck, killing a serpent. The battle is already won, so
this is what it means to live in purpose. Yeah, if you ain't know, and all it ever took me was some focus. Yeah, if you ain't know, he told me spit the word without a pulpit. Yeah, if you ain't know, so I ain't letting go of my anointment. Yeah, if you ain't know, never let go. See, we only living in the purpose that God put us in, you feel me? Never let go. So never mind who you thought we were. Never let go. I know you feel like you the gatekeeper and everything. Never let go. But it ain't up to you. Yeah. You already know what time it is. Yeah. I'm feeling like David. Yeah. Like David. Yeah. Can't nobody slay me. Yeah. You can't slay me. I feel like Moses. Yeah. Big Moses. Yeah. Can't nobody hold me. Yeah. Can't nobody. Yeah. I'm feeling like Daniel. Yeah. And what I'm daddy, yeah. Can't nobody face me, yeah. You can't face me. I'm feeling like Joseph, yeah. Big Joseph, yeah. Can't nobody break me, yeah. Can't nobody break me. Listen, why are these haters tweaking? Acting like I don't need it. All of my pockets bleeding. All of my sneakers speaking. Never had a pot to piss in. Made a lot of dumb decisions. All of my sins forgiven. Now I got ammunition. No competition. This is the product cause they ain't resilient. I'm gonna make it, don't need an opinion. Ain't gonna fumble, I'm here on a mission. I'm already winning. This is the vision. Feeling like Jesus in front of the millions. Making my mark with some bread and some fishes. Can't take the heat to get out of the kitchen. I'm feeling like David. King David. Yeah. Can't nobody slay me. me. You can't slay. I feel like Moses. Big Moses. Can nobody hold me? Can't nobody. I feel like Dale. Big Daddy. Can nobody face me? I feel like Joseph. Big Joseph. Can nobody break me? Listen, stacking the green, I stay in the lab. Heat up the curry, I'm making a splash. Brother, he made me with clay in his hand. Shooting my shot like I'm Kevin Durant. From London to France, I cannot wait till I see all the beautiful cities and land. That is the plan, so I'm gonna need all my checks in advance. Do what I can, even without the best microphone. I'm finna make me a jam. Thanking my God for the things that I have. Turning my water to wine in a flash. Living in fear is a thing of the past. Ignoring the hate that I hear on the gram. You think you the goat, but you really a lamb. Here with my Bible, you know who I am. I'm feeling like David. King David. Can nobody slay me? You can't slay. I feel like Moses. Big Moses. Can nobody hold me? Can't nobody. I feel like Dale. Big Daddy. Can nobody face me? I feel like Joseph. Big Joseph. Can nobody break me? Listen. Yeah. Yeah. God is the GOAT, man. You took me from nothing to something, man. I'm on a roll, man. Yeah. Why these haters and demons be doing the most, man? Yeah. Kind of a buster, man. I ain't afraid of no ghosts, man. Who want the smoke, man? God is the GOAT. You already know how many blessings you think that my God gonna bring in a row. Follow the code. I don't be cheating this game, man. I play on a whole other mode. All of my bros, yeah, we be reading the Bible together. We taking some notes, defeating the foes. Yeah, we got God on our side, he the GOAT. A to the O, Alpha Omega. Man, I ain't never been afraid of no danger. Devil coming at me, but I got the right savior. I'm about to put him down like Obi did Vader. Got a lightsaber, who wanna go? Gassing me up while he sits on the throne. Standing my grind, man, I'm never alone. Yeah, I'm only a vessel, I'm here for the show. Gotta stay woke, yeah. Living a life full of sin, man, I thought I was broke, yeah. Nah, little did I know that he made me wanted to choke, yeah. Now all I do is deliver the message of hope. Give me some more. Wherever you take me, man, I'm finna go. God is the GOAT, man. He took me from nothing to something, man. I'm on a roll, man. Yeah. Why these haters and demons be doing the most, man? Yeah. Kind of a buster, man. I ain't afraid of no ghosts, man. Who want the smoke, man? God is the GOAT, man. He took me from nothing to something, man. I'm on a roll, man. Yeah. Why these haters and demons be doing the most, man? Yeah, kind of a buster, man. I ain't afraid of no ghosts, man. Who want the smoke? God is the GOAT.
I know a lot of people, they done lost in this game. I know God got me, he done left them boy running in place. The label drive me, they say I will never be famous. I know God got me, we out here flipping them tables. Breaking them windows, kicking them doors down. One of that Range Rover, one of that tour now. The manager lying to me, they selling me dreams. But now I be riding for them, I'm part of the team. Got all my royalties back, I'm gone. Now I can come back with rap songs. I'm back on the map, yeah, I'm back strong, yeah. The book on the dash is my backbone. Fighting these demons like Capcom. Yeah, I'ma win, yeah, I'm that strong.
God is the GOAT, man. He took me from nothing to something, man. I'm on a roll, man.
I'm on the road.
Yeah, why these haters and demons be doing the most?
Yo, what's going on, everybody on YouTube? YouTube Live. Let me make sure I adjust my microphone, get it right here. I can't wait to show you the great questions that I have for you guys this week. All right, I've collected some really good questions. Let me just turn down the music a little so it's not conflicting with me so much, but I will have it in the background because I always like to work with music in the background. Thank you guys for joining in, of course. Thank you guys for just taking the time out the day to just be a part of the community, be a part of all of this, right? And you guys know why I'm here. All right, we're going to do these Tuesday Q&As. Any music industry tip questions that you have, I want you guys to fill this chat box with as much questions as possible. Take full advantage of this hour. All right, I literally have people who pay me to help them with their questions, do music business coaching, and I tell them all the time, if you could make it between noon and 1, you can get all your questions answered for free. You just got to make it to the live. So I appreciate those of you who are here, and just fill it with every question that you could think of when it comes to the music industry. Take advantage of this opportunity because I'm only here till 1, all right? But of course, I got to get all the particulars out the way. You guys already know about my membership club program. This is for any of you guys who want more of a one-on-one approach to your coaching. Of course, with these perks, you'll actually be able to get a lot of dope perks, and all you got to do is hit that join button right there, and you can see the different levels. You can see what's included with it, but it's things like priority replies to comments, members only exclusive walkthroughs, and free monthly music business coaching sessions, which sometimes, well, as they say to me, it's invaluable because there's so much to learn with this music industry stuff, and it's good to just have somebody in the corner helping you to get over those things, right? Thank you guys for joining in on IG. For those of you who just joined in on IG, just head over to my YouTube channel. I'm on YouTube Live right now, just answering music industry tip questions. All right. So far, I see Niles Lester just asked a question here. Thank you so much for asking the question. Thank you so much for joining in, and everybody else who's in right now, or for those of you who are joining in, just let me know you're here. Let me know where you're joining in from. All right, let me know where you're hailing from and all of that good stuff, because I definitely want to acknowledge it. If you want to share your music links, go ahead and do that as well. And throughout here, everybody can follow each other, like each other, and connect with each other as we get through this live. All right. So I guess I'll answer now. I'll answer your question first. I'll just wait a couple more seconds here as people join in here so we could do this. But thank you for joining in. Thank you for being part of it. All right, joining in from Columbus, Ohio. Dope. Columbus, Ohio. I love that. Never been. I do hope that I can go one day. I definitely got to just do more traveling in general, and that is actually my plan for next year, right? Because I have a lot of great things that have lined up music-wise, but I want to make sure that, I give you guys all that information as well. So again, any questions that you guys have, take full advantage of this moment. Take full advantage of this hour. All right. I see you, Bookkeeper 24/7. Thank you for joining in on YouTube here. All right. So we're basically just going to get to these questions. All right. So now I'll answer your question first as people are still joining and things like that. So your question is how do I get my foot in the door as an up-and-coming producer? I have been playing, singing, creating music for about a decade, but I want to step into the professional arena. All right, so that's a great question, Niles. And I guess my follow-up question to you would be, first and foremost, as a producer specifically, I see you say playing, singing, and creating music. I'm assuming you make beats as well. Is your focus on the production side, or is your focus on the artist side? Because I also said it says singing as well and creating music, so I'm assuming you do a little bit of everything, right? But what is the main focus? Is it actual production, being a producer, being a beat maker, so to speak, or is it being an artist? Because those are two different paths, right? Those are two different suggestions, and the way I answer that question will vary based off of those two different things. So just give me a little bit more clarification on that, and I'll be able to help you a lot more. All right. Juan, thank you for joining in on IG. I'm just here to let people know to head over to my YouTube. All right. I'm here to answer any music industry tip questions. All right. You can ask the question on IG, but for a chance to win a free gift, head over to my YouTube channel and ask the question in the YouTube chat, because the best question that's asked on YouTube will get a free gift on me. All right. So now let me know what you're referring to specifically. I know you said up and coming producer, but I just want to know if you're just focusing on producer or if you're actually focusing on being an artist, because there is a difference, and there's a different level of guidance that I could give you for either or. I say that because I do both myself. All right, but there were times in my career that I had to focus on just the production versus times that I had to focus on the artist. Right now, I'm in the phase of my career that I'm an artist, but there was a time that the focus was as a producer. So I definitely need a little bit more clarification. All right, so I am definitely an artist first. All right, perfect. But I am gifted in both areas. I feel that. I specifically want to know about the production side and, of course, anything you want to add as an artist. Okay, so when it comes to being a beat maker, a producer, when online, it's very, very easy, and you could actually grow very, very quickly if you align yourself with the right things. All right. Now, the first thing that I definitely want to show you that you want to align yourself with is BeatStars. All right. Now, BeatStars, I'm going to type it in here. I'm not sure if you know anything about BeatStars, but BeatStars is a very, very important thing for producers nowadays because it's the #1 place that people actually find beats now. All right. Not only is it one of the most important places that people actually look for beats and find beats, but it has one of the greatest search engines when it comes to finding beats of a particular sound, of a particular genre, of a particular effect, and things like that. So you definitely want to sign up for BeatStars. But what I love about BeatStar the most is how BeatStar integrates with YouTube. All right. So we all know YouTube as, you know, a place that a lot of artists go to find beats, right? A lot of artists, you know, like to search things like, you know, free, I guess free Lil Wayne type beats, right? Or since I'm a Christian artist, let's do free Lecrae type beats, right? And once you search it, you're always going to you see beats that come up and things like that, right? And obviously people listen to them, and if you want it, you can purchase it and stuff. But what I love the most about BeatStars is that when you create your own YouTube video with your beat to promote your beat, you could actually link your BeatStars to that, and BeatStars will give you YouTube content ID for that, meaning that this, for instance, this one right here, Cryptian Beats 2, I actually know him, and I actually have worked with him in the past, and he's a great producer when it comes to Christian hip hop, by the way. But when you click on the video and, you know, the video is playing and you're listening to the beat and everything like that, if you notice, there's going to typically be a BeatStar link, and that's what this is here. This is a BeatStar link. This beat has a YouTube content ID on there, which means that even though an artist may not pick this beat up yet, or may have not have leased or purchased this beat to use, as the producer, you're still making an income off the beats because you're still getting views and off the beat. You're still getting streams off the beat, even though the beat hasn't turned into a song yet, right? This beat, for example, has 52,000 views, which means that it has 52,000 streams, which means that YouTube Content ID is getting paid out for each one of those streams, right? So the beautiful thing about being a producer now is that you can make money off your beats before you even connect with the artist to actually make a song with that beat, right? There are certain producers that literally make a living off of this alone. Then anything that an artist decides to actually lease or purchase to make a song with, that's just the added bonus, right? You can actually make an income off of it just like this, right? Now, I believe I have a video on BeatStars. Let me double check that I explain more about BeatStars, and if I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, okay, BeatStars ID versus YouTube Content ID. Let me see. How to get YouTube content for producers and beat makers. I talk about BeatStars there. All right, so now I'm gonna share this link on the chat. All right, because watch this video, because this will give you more information on that for sure. That way it could help you in the process of understanding that more and seeing how it works. But there are some other things that you definitely would want to sign up for just to make sure that you are situated when it comes to being a producer. But that would be the first thing that I'll tell you to get involved with if you're not involved with already as a producer. It's BeatStars and YouTube are the two primary locations that you need to be integrating your, producer business with, for you to really have success with this. So, great question, and I see some more questions are being asked here, and I love this because, like I said, I love building a community and things like that. Let me see who else is in here before I get to these other questions. Just Mike, thank you for joining in out here in Cleveland, Ohio. I got Columbus, Ohio, and I got Cleveland, Ohio. That's great. Thank you guys for joining in. Again, share your links, answer whatever ask whatever music industry tip questions you may have, because I'm here to answer them. All right, so the next question that I see here is by the bookkeeper, so I'll answer that. How does a new artist with low budget gets noticed? Okay, so this is a great question by the bookkeeper 24/7. First and foremost, as a new artist, you definitely want to know what type of artist you are, as far as what type of genre of music you make and things like that. By knowing that, you'll be able to fine-tune how you can get noticed, right? Because if you just say that you're a hip-hop artist, it's going to be very, very difficult to get noticed, because there's like 1,000 new hip-hop artists a day, right? I think Spotify, I forgot the actual number, but there's thousands of people who sign up for Spotify every day. Not release music, just sign up with it, right? So there's so much music out there for every single genre. So in order to really get noticed, you kind of have to be more specific in what type of music you make. So me, myself, I'm a Christian hip-hop artist that already has two focuses. Number one is hip-hop, which is a genre within itself, but it's not just hip-hop, it's Christian hip-hop, which makes the pool smaller, which makes it more focused, which makes it more niche-based, right? So the first thing I would say is find your niche and know your niche. Once you know your niche and you know exactly what type of music you make, let's say you make lo-fi hip-hop music, right? Or let's say you just make gym workout music. Whatever it is, find the particular focus to it. Once you know that focus, then you would market towards that particular focus, right? Now, I'm glad that the bookkeeper 24/7 asked that question, because for those of you who don't know, the bookkeeper 24/7 is a great place for a great community, a great website, a great place, a great blog site for Christian hip hop artists, right? There are certain, once you find your niche, you'll know who to send your music to, right? So I'm going to use myself as an example. Because I do Christian hip hop music, all I do is search up Christian hip hop websites, Christian hip hop blog sites, Christian hip hop radio station, this and that, in all aspects, and I try to reach out to them. I try to send them my music and things like that to help me get noticed, because getting noticed is one thing, but getting noticed to people who are willing to see you is the other thing, right? So people who go to these sites are looking for Christian hip hop, so it's easier for me to get noticed because that's what they're looking for and that's what I'm showing, right? So that's why it's very, very important to know your niche. So going back to what I did, I simply just went to Google when I first started making music, and I actually had a song ready. I literally went to Google, right? And I literally typed in Christian hip hop websites. I literally just typed that in first, right? And then it gave me a whole list of different websites, right? And look, here's one of the searches right here, the bookkeeper 24/7, right? Who's with us right now on the live, right? This is the perfect example of what I'm talking about. This is how I found out about him. Look, here's all the other websites. They're all up here as well. When you go to these websites, when you click on them, right? Let's click on the bookkeepers because he's here with us right now, right? And I see it, you all. What's going on? Thank you for joining in. I got some updates for that track. We definitely got to talk about it. Ivory White, thank you also for joining in as well. I'm actually on YouTube Live answering music industry tip questions. So I would love for you guys to join in on YouTube. Chiwas, I see your question. I can answer it right here on IG. But for a chance to win a free gift, head over to click on the YouTube link on my bio. Join the YouTube live and ask the question on the YouTube live, because the best question that's asked will get a free gift on me. So I'll give you a second. If I don't see you join in on YouTube, I'll answer it on IG live, but I want you to have an opportunity to win the free gift. So definitely join in on YouTube. All right. And that's for anybody else who's on IG. So going back to this website here. All right. The Bookkeeper 24/7, right? On the site, obviously everything that he promotes is Christian based, Christian hip hop music and things like that, right? Christian media altogether, right? That is my niche. Look at the links, right? Look at the last link. What does it say? This submission form, right? Meaning that he is providing an opportunity for you to submit your music to him. And if he likes it, or if it fits what his brand, what his standards, then he will actually put you in a position to have your music on his website, so on and so forth, right? This works with every single website that deals with music. There's always somewhere that you could submit your music to, right? But again, let's say I make, just random example, let's say I make explicit music. Why would I submit it here? I'm not going to get approved or accepted, because that's not in my genre. That's not in my lane. That's literally almost the opposite, if not the opposite, of what the Bookkeeper is looking for, right? So this is why it's very, very important to know your niche, know your genre, know who you're trying to cater to, and things and things of that nature, right? But yeah, you use these submit forms, you click on them. Most of these websites have it. You fill it out, you put your music behind it. You read this stuff, right? Because a lot of times people miss submissions because they don't read these things, right? Because these are literally everything they're letting you know about before you even submit, right? They're letting you know what they're looking for. They're letting you know what format that it needs to be in, this, that, and the third, right? So don't skip any of this stuff. Always read it so you know exactly how to submit to better your chances. But this is a great way to help get your name out there and get noticed as an artist, right? Another great way is simply by submitting to different playlists, because at the end of the day, you're an artist. You want people to hear your music, right? So you have to find a way to get your music to be heard. What's the best way to get your music to be heard? By having your music on different playlists and different platforms and things like that, right? I have this thing here that I'm going to share with you guys on, it's on my website, but I'm going to share it with you guys now. And basically it's 8 different websites that you could submit to Spotify playlists for free, right? I'm going to share that link with you guys here, because this is a great way to get your music out there, to get exposure out there, because all you got to do is submit your music. If they like it, they'll add your music to the Spotify playlist for free. No charge whatsoever. These are people who are looking for new music to add to their playlist every day. All right. And these 8 websites are there to help you guys. This is another great tool to help getting your name out there. So I'm sharing that link with you guys. It's free. All you got to do is download it. It gives you the 8 different websites and get to submitting. So find those blog sites like thebookkeeper.com. Find, those playlists. Go through those different websites. But again, before you do all of that, you must know your niche. You must know your core audience. You must know who your music is for, right? If you make pop music and you submit to a hip hop playlist, you will not get approved. All right. It just will not work. Don't just go to these websites and just submit to every single playlist, because it's going to discourage you, because you're going to see a lot of denials, not because your music isn't good, but because that's not the type of music they're looking for. All right. And as artists, we all don't like being discouraged. We don't like to be rejected. It's not easy to overcome rejection as an artist, especially beginning artists. So make sure you're always putting yourself in a position to actually get approved. Make sure you're always putting yourself in a position to actually win, right? Never get denied because it's the wrong genre. Never get denied because of quality. There's certain things you should never get denied for. If you're going to deny me, I'd rather you deny me by just simply saying, it's not my taste. I don't particularly like this particular song, right? But if it's the mix and master isn't right. That's gonna leave you with a terrible feeling. If it's that's not even the type of genre that I have on my playlist, that's gonna leave a terrible feeling. Don't set you up for failure, right? You always want to make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to win, right? And by doing that, researching, reading, take a look at the playlist. Like I said, for the Bookkeeper's website, read it before you submit it. Even if you're a Christian artist, read it, because there are things in there that you need to know before submitting. There's a certain format that they require every single time. Every website does this, right? Take your time, read it, submit it the right way, how they want to be contacted, whether it's through a form, through an email, whatever the case, follow it the right way to better your chance of being noticed. But I hope that answered your question. All right. Big shout out for sure. Bookkeeper, thank you so much for super fan. All right. Thank you for your donation. Thank you so much. It really means a lot. And I appreciate you too, for sure. Now, as I see here, so I am familiar with B-Star, but I need to learn more. This is good info for sure. My next two questions. All right. My next two questions: how did your faith guide you in your music industry? Oh, it guided me in the music industry. Oh, great question. And what encouragement would you offer someone trying to trust God's guidance in a music career? Okay, so those are two great questions, and I love those questions so much because those aren't questions that I typically get on here, but it's just probably my favorite question so far. I see you, Zell Music. Thank you for joining in. Great work. I love the work that you're always doing on IG. I love the consistency. I'm on YouTube Live right now. Chihuahuas, remember, YouTube Live. I'm on YouTube right now. For any of you guys who want to ask your music industry tip questions, ask it right here on YouTube for a chance to win a free gift, but I will answer it on IG if I have to. So Chihuahuas, yours will be the next question. Answer it if I don't see you on YouTube. All right, so the first question was, how did your faith guide you in your music industry? All right, so with me personally, before I even started my music career, I did a major fast, because we hear a lot about the music industry. You know, there's a lot to worry about when it comes to the music industry. There's a lot of things that can sound scary when it comes to the music industry, because there's always somebody who's trying to get over on somebody else when it comes. It's a dog-eat-dog world in the music industry and things like that, right? So I could understand faith is a big part of me, a big part of my ministry, and a big part of why I'm able to do the things that I am able to do in the music industry. When it comes to using my faith, honestly, when it comes to every single decision I make, I don't make it right on time, like right then and there. I always pray on it. I always give it 24 hours, and I always at least wait until my spirit is right with it. Sometimes it only takes 24 hours. Sometimes it may take weeks, right? Because at the end of the day, making music, I feel like, is my purpose. You know, my biggest purpose is, of course, is helping independent artists grow and things like that. That I'm literally in a recording studio that I built. I have clients that come in, and I help them all the time with every aspect of music, whether it's coaching, making music, engineering, whatever, right? So that is always going to be my ministry for sure, right? I'm never going to stop doing that, because that is my purpose. That is my ministry. But I also love making music myself, right? So when it comes to me, any decision that I make, I feel like I have to make it with God's presence. I have to make it after make the decision after I've consulted with him, right? And sometimes I don't get an answer right away, right? Sometimes, you know, it'll be maybe it's with a feature with an artist, right? And this happened to me recently. It was a feature with an artist, right? And the artist wanted me to charge him for it. Now, I'm not against that. I understand that aspect of the music industry, right? So he wanted me to pay him for the feature. Now, quite frankly, me and him were around the same level, right? But I was like, okay, before I ultimately make that decision to pay you for this, I need to pray on this. Even though Christian artists just like myself, this, that, and the third, and I understand the business side, and I understand that this is a reality of being in the music industry. I still felt that I needed to pray on it, right? I still felt that I needed to seek God's counsel on it. So I prayed on it, and I waited for the answer, right? A couple of days later, you know, I was like, man, I'm not getting an answer from God. I don't know what I should do. I don't feel led to do this yet. I need that approval. I need that, you know, confirmation, right? The next time, and mind you, with the artist, I wasn't actually dealing with the artist. I was dealing with the artist's manager, right? And the manager had already told me a price. So I was like, all right, cool. The next time I spoke to the same manager, the price was different. The price raised, right? And I mean, we're talking about a couple of days apart, right? Once the price raised, I was taken aback by it a little bit, right? Then I was like, now I was really on pause. Then, you know, he said he was going to send the contract over. I said, okay, you can send it over, but I'm still not entirely sure if I want to do this yet, this, that, and the third. But I'm still waiting on an answer from God, which is what I told him. I get the actual contract in, and on the contract itself, it was another price even higher than the second price that he already raised it to, right? Once I got that, I felt like I got the answer right then and there, right? Because if I'm dealing with somebody, regardless of faith, regardless of religious belief, regardless of business, it's important to stand on your word, right? I'm not, we didn't shake on it, so I don't have, no. Like, your word is your word. God didn't, or Jesus didn't shake on anything when he said that he was going to deliver us. You get what I'm saying? He said what he was going to do. There's power in the tongue, not power in the handshake. You get what I'm saying? So your word is your word. So that gave me the wisdom to, and that really made me realize, okay, I'm glad that I didn't do this. I'm glad that I didn't make this decision. I'm glad that I was in a position to even wait. And I'm glad that I operate the way I operate, because if I didn't seek God's counsel with making decisions, I would have probably already paid for it or whatever the case may be, right? That's why it's always important to rely on your faith, rely on the Holy Spirit inside you before you make any decision, regardless who it is. And that has helped me in so many different ways when it comes to, I have testimonies for days, and I'm not going to bore you with a bunch of testimonies, but faith is a big deal. Use it. Stay in your word, stay in prayers, fast when you need to, fast when you're called to, and just always make sure that you're taking a moment to have that discussion with God. Include God with every decision you make, and I promise you, you'll make so much great decisions in your music career. All right. And of course, align yourself with people who know about it as well, and continue to learn about it as well. These are all great things that can help you. Thank you guys for joining in here on IG Live. I see you, Sam Purpose. I see you, Cable, the Don. Thank you guys for joining in for sure. Now, I'm here to answer music industry tip questions. I'm really on YouTube. All right. Of course, you guys can ask your questions right here on IG, but for a chance to actually win a free gift, slide over to my YouTube, join in on the YouTube Live, and ask your questions on the YouTube chat. And from there, you'll actually get a chance to win. But I appreciate the words of encouragement, and I appreciate you guys for joining in. And Chiwaz, I see you there. You say you'll be joining in soon. That's dope. All right. But now to answer the second question, and what encouragement would you offer someone trying to trust God's guidance? Keep waiting and keep trusting on him, right? It's sometimes, like I said, like the testimony I gave you, I didn't get an answer right away, but I got the answer with the time that I spent waiting, right? The answer came in a different way than I thought it was going to come. I thought he was just going to be like, nah, do it or don't do it. The answer didn't come in that way. The answer came in the way that the business was being conducted, right? And sometimes all you have to do is just trust God and wait. Sometimes that's all it takes. Trust in God and wait, and then things will reveal themselves, or you'll be put in certain positions. It's hard to do it sometimes. It's definitely hard to do it sometimes. But trust me, sometimes waiting is the only way to get the answer that you need, right? If I didn't wait, I would have made a bad business deal, right? who knows? I would have probably paid it. They would have asked for more, this, that, and the third. I may have never got that feature. You get what I'm saying? And the feature wasn't even worth it to begin with, right? But sometimes you just have to wait. The 1 Corinthians 13, when God describes his what love looks like, explaining what love is. The first thing is love is patient. Patience is very, very important in everything. Solomon, with wisdom, you don't gain wisdom if you're not patient, right? Patience is what leads you to learn, right? When you're in school, the classes that, or the classes that you were best at are the classes that you was patient enough to figure out and understand, right? Patience is key in this industry for sure. Never make a decision right away, right? I know bad contracts that were done because of bad decisions and being impatient, right? All you had to do was read these 20 pages or get a lawyer to review these 20 pages. I've seen this happen in real life, right? Contracts that were signed without looking at 20 pages. Oh, it's 20 pages. I'm not trying to read all of that. That's exactly why they don't want you to do it. But if they're getting you to sign something that's 20 pages long, that means it's serious. The only time I see 20 pages on anything is when I'm making a big decision, like buying a house. That's a 20-page pamphlet, right? Signing up for Social Security or disability, that's 20 pages long. These are very important things, right? Obviously, if you get anything that is 20 pages long, you might want to review it and have somebody else review it with you as well, right? It's just a reality. Be patient with it. Take your time with it, and I promise you, you'll always come up on top. As my pastor Josh says, you can't choose God and lose, right? Our God is not a God of losing. He's a God of winning. So great questions there. All right, let's see what I have here. Again, Bookkeeper, thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that so much. Fakir Fitness dropping facts with the tip as well. Thank you for the $5 tip. That means so much. You guys don't understand. This stuff means so much to me because I really be out here working, man. I be working, and I appreciate you, and I'm so thankful that I'm able to help you guys day in and day out with your music tips. Kazekage, I think that's a Naruto reference. If it is, that's dope. I love Naruto. It was one of my favorite animes. I see you. Thank you for joining in. Your videos are so helpful. That's dope. I appreciate you for joining in. Can I put my question in this chat here? Yes, I would very much love for you to put your question on this chat here. And best question that's asked on this chat today, Kazekage, will actually get a free gift on me. So this is exactly where you need to put it. Put it right here in the chat, and I'll be able to answer for you. Starman, thank you for joining in. Peace, brother. Peace, brother. Thank you for joining in again. Starman is starting to become a regular here, and I love it. Clevo, I see your question here as well. Thank you for joining in. And guys, let me know where you guys are actually joining in from. Let me know, what state you're in. Drop your music links if you want, so I could actually, follow, and everybody else in the chat can follow and things like that. R1S, I see you. Thank you as well for joining in. And I see you guys are starting to fill this with questions. So this is great. I'm gonna try to get through every single one of these questions here. So let's do this. So next question is by Clevo Mac. All right. Again, welcome. Thank you for joining in. What streaming platform can you drop mixtape using other artists' popular beats? Example, like Lil Wayne's Dedication mixtape. Okay, so because we are, and that's a great question, Clevo, but because we are actually in the era of streaming, it is actually very, very difficult to do that. And it actually is very, very difficult to gain success while doing that. And what I mean by that is, currently speaking, we're in the streaming era. Being in the streaming era, most people are using a streaming DSP, a digital service provider, to actually listen to music, right? Or AI, Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Amazon Music, YouTube. These are where people are actually listening to music. Now, when it comes to these streaming platforms, in order to get your music on all of these different streaming platforms, you actually have to deal with a music distribution company, right? A music distributor. Most music distributors, let me not even say most, all music distributors have a system set up that you can't use other people's works, right? you're going to get a copyright tag on it, and they're going to deny the upload, right? So if you were to use DistroKid right now and you would upload a song with Lil Wayne's beat on it, it's going to get denied. It's probably going to get flagged and dinged with content ID, and it's probably going to be taken down, right? Because realistically speaking, we're not allowed to do that, right? The mixtape era was fun because they literally put it on CDs and things like that, so it was fun to do that. But when it comes to streaming services now, you are not able to actually do that. That doesn't mean you can't do it. You just won't be able to have it on streaming platforms. Now, to answer your question as far as where could you have it, well, the first place you could definitely have it is your own website if you have one, right? Building your own website and having your music on that website is a great way to sell mixtapes or have mixtapes, but you have to remember, again, if most people are typically listening to the music to Spotify, now they have to take an extra step to go to your website to listen to the music. Let's say you decide you allow people to download it. Now they have to download it and somehow get it on their phone, which is not easy to do with these smartphones. Sometimes you have to download a different app to listen to music. So essentially what you're telling that person listening is that they have to do all of these extra steps to listen to your mixtape, right? Even though they use Spotify every day. That is a very hard ask nowadays to ask, especially because we're in a microwave society. Everybody wants things quickly. Everybody wants things fast. When Drake drops a new song, all they got to do is go to Spotify and listen to it, right? They don't want to do all these extra steps, which makes it difficult. But it still can be done. You can have it on your website, right? Another great place to have that is Bandcamp, all right? I talked about Bandcamp the last live, so I'll show you it here, bandcamp.com. Bandcamp is a great place that you could actually sell. You can still sell CDs, vinyls, and all of those things on Bandcamp as well, but you could create a Bandcamp profile, right? So a Bandcamp is almost like a Facebook for artists, right? But you can also sell music. So here, I'll give you an example, right? See, this is a typical Bandcamp profile. You could have your show dates on here, right? But you see this EP or LP right here? Here's the price right here, right? You could, I don't know why it's so small. Can I make this bigger? Bandcamp is terrible with their size. Like, this is horrible. Like, and I have glasses, right? Okay, so I made it bigger. See, that's their price right there for this, right? This is a vinyl record. That's dope. That's dope, by the way. Having a vinyl is so dope. But either way, 28, I don't know, what is that, pounds, right? So, you guys can't see it because of my face is blocking it. But if I scroll up here, see that? 28 pounds or 28 GBPs. I don't know what country this is, but whatever that is, you could literally do that with your mixtape, right? You could create a profile, get your mixtape on there, have a price on there and everything. You could do it just like that, Clevo, but it just won't be a part of the streaming platforms, right? Because that's official stuff, right? Mixtapes is unofficial, right? So you can use something like Bandcamp, and believe it or not, Dat Piff is still a thing. Dat Piff is still a thing. You can still get your mixtapes on Dat Piff, and I think Dat Piff is still one of the biggest, if not the biggest place for mixtapes. And as you can see, people are still releasing mixtape on Dat Piff. It's still a thing. People are still releasing singles on here and everything. So Dat Piff is still a thing. You can still get your music on there. And if not there, just look up mixtape websites. You know, let's take a look. Dat Piff used to be the #1 place, but look, okay. Oh, My Mixtapes is another big one. They're like Dat Piff as well. That's another place that you could use. SoundCloud is another place that you could use. Mixtape Monkey is another place that you could use. All of these places are great places that you could use, but remember, mixtapes typically are free, so if you're trying to make a profit out of it, you're probably going to have to use Bandcamp or something like that, and things like that. I would definitely challenge you. I would definitely challenge you to make your own music, Clevo, because you could have that released everywhere and have it being listened to everywhere without the extra steps and stuff. I know mixtapes, that's one of those things that it's dope to do. People even love the sound of it, especially real hip hop fans. We love the sound of just the word mixtape. Oh, snap. You heard the mixtape? You know what I'm saying? We love mixtape. Wayne's era of mixtape was crazy, right? We love mixtapes and all of those different things, but we're just not really in that era anymore. You get what I'm saying? And if you're going to release music and if you're going to spend so much time to put a song together, you might as well make something off of it. You might as well get it on a real streaming platform, this, that, and the third, and do that way. You know, it just makes the most sense. But again, to each his own, because that just might be a bucket list thing for you. You know, you may just be like, you know what, I want to make a mixtape because I never made one before. Then more power to you. I feel that. You get what I'm saying? So do your thing, and I hope that helps. All right. So let's see who else has joined in. Pretty Girl Progression, thank you for joining in here. I'm gonna get to all of these. I see these questions. All right, so I'm gonna kick it into overdrive a little bit so I can get to all of these questions. So R1S says, yo, what is the best and trustworthy distribution site right now? Great question. I love questions like that, especially when I already have a video for it. So I won't spend too much time on it, R1S. But essentially, all you got to do is come to my website and type in music distribution, right? Music distribution, boom, boom. And best music distribution services for 2024. All right, so I did this every year at the start of the year, right? And I lay out the top music distribution sites. Now, it does change from year to year. And I know you guys are probably wondering, why do I have to make changes from year to year? You don't. But prices on distributions change yearly. Right? Services change. Some distributions get a whole lot better or a whole lot worse depending on the changes that they made from year to year. So I just make this to update you guys on what I think are my top recommendations. Doesn't mean that you got to change distributions every year or anything like that, right? All I'm doing is telling you. And for if you haven't actually signed up for distribution, you will know what's the best ones as of then. So I just shared that link with you guys in the chat here. If you want to look into it, you could definitely look into it. All right. But that's the best music distribution services for this year as of right now. But that was a great question, R1S. I hope that video helps you. All right. Now, Fakir Fitness asked a question here. In 2020, 2021, we learned of cities that could create a sustainable lifestyle for musicians. Do we see artists begin to migrate their way to invest into music? 1,000%. Lord have mercy. Okay, so great question. And yes, that is a thing, right? There's being in the music mecca is a great thing because there's always an opportunity to get in front of fans. There's always an opportunity for your music to be heard. There's always opportunities to put yourself in a position to just get to that next level, right? But the music mecca, it may be difficult to be there, especially if you're in somewhere that isn't, right? I seen we had someone from Columbus, Ohio, right? And Nas is from Columbus, Ohio. We also have Cleveland, Detroit. I see Detroit, right? All right, and then where else did we had? We had another place in Ohio earlier. I know we had Columbus. What was the other one? I don't want to forget. I don't see it. There's so much in the chat. Cleveland. It was out of Cleveland, right? Okay, so Cleveland, Detroit, right? Detroit has a music scene, right? Cleveland, Columbus, I'm not sure, but I know Cleveland does, right? But none of those are the meccas, right? Right now, for music, the mecca is Atlanta. That's the mecca for music when it comes to hip hop specifically, all right? If we're talking about other genres, the mecca would be somewhere different, but being in that mecca will always provide you an opportunity to grow your music career much faster than anywhere else in the nation, right? But you don't have to be there to be successful. And I think that's the best part about music and streaming services and online and social media nowadays, because you could literally blow up on an artist on social media and 90% of your fan base don't even live where you live, right? Like, it's just the greatest thing about social media. Your music could touch people in Iceland, right? Someone in Greece could hear your song for the first time that easily on social media. So it's not as important to be in the mecca when it comes to music, but there are so many great benefits to be in the mecca of whatever genre that you actually make music in, right? If you make country music, I believe it's still Tennessee. I believe Nashville is still the best place to be if you make country music. Doesn't mean you have to be, but there's so many perks and benefits to being there. So that definitely still is a thing, right? But it's not absolutely mandatory to have a great career. And that was a great question by Fakir Fitness. And again, thank you for joining in. And thank you again for the donation. It truly, truly means a lot. All right. Now, Starman said here, Used to track song trust, BMI, etc. Yes, you want to sign up for those things to make sure that you're tracking and getting all your royalties. All right. I'm glad that you said that, Starman. I'm gonna actually pull up that video and put the link of that video on here as well. You want to make sure you're always getting your royalties. That if you decide for the mixtapes or when you're actually making music, right, official music, you want to make sure you sign up to all of these websites that's in this video right here to make sure that you get all your royalties. So definitely check out that video there for any of you guys who's looking into releasing music for the first time. All right. So thank you Starman, for reminding us of that. That is great. Pretty good progression. Yo, how I start my videos. Appreciate it. What's going on? I love this community. All right. And all right, so Kazakage has another question. So my question is, I have selected some artists that I want to work with, not big but rising artists. I skimmed through their IG and found his recording engineer they consistently go to. How can ask him to get my beats placed or played for him? What way can I reach out? Great question. Now, I don't want to say this, but I feel like I have to, because this is literally what I do. You got to stalk him. You got what I mean by that. Find out his best mode of contact, right? Don't be afraid. DM him, right? So to give you an example, when I want to get in contact with a producer, let's say, where is that? Free Lucre Beats. I actually did this for this exact producer, right? So I was looking up Christian hip hop beats, right? And then I found this producer. This is a producer that I am currently working with, right? I have a couple of his beats right now, right? So I'm on his page. I found some dope stuff, this, that, and the third. And then look, there's two links here. There's an IG link, right? Then he got his own website, and there's a BeatStar link, right? I went to his IG, right? And I DM'd him. If you don't answer me on the DM, I'm going to find another way, right? I just sent. Right now we're following each other. We're literally making music together right now. But contact them. Don't be afraid to contact them. Be as professional as possible, right? But don't be afraid to contact them. A lot of times they're young people who's just super talented and super willing to work with people. A producer is only as great as the artist who decides to make the music with them, right? Metro Boomin wouldn't be booming on anything if he didn't have the artist that he worked with. It is what it is, right? Quincy Jones was nothing without Mike. It's just the reality, right? A producer is only as great as the artist that's on the track with him. So they're always willing to work with people. All right, don't be afraid to contact them. Sometimes they have their email here, right? Get there and see view email. You can literally click on that here, and you probably have to do the whole robot thing, and then they'll give you their email. Contact them through email if they're not responding back on IG. Contact them. Don't be afraid to contact them. It's part of networking. It's part of being an artist, right? It's going to be very difficult being an artist if you're not able to communicate with people, ask questions and things like that, right? Of course, you don't want to show up at their doorstep and things like that, because that's just wild, right? But you want to be able to contact people and ask them questions and see if they're willing to collaborate. It's not one of those things that people are gonna be like, no, get off, or block you or anything like that, right? The worst that they could tell you is no. But I've never contacted someone who was not willing to work, right? Of course, your music has to be a certain way. And what I mean by that is you want to have definitely some quality in your music, right? Anytime I say I want to work with a producer, when I hit them up, they want to work, but sometimes they'll hit me with, well, let me hear some of your music, right? Because they just want to see the quality that I do. And my stuff is always quality, right? So I never get turned down because of quality and things like that. And that's what I was mentioning earlier. Make sure you take focus into quality as well. But yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to him, Kazakage, right? Get at him. Reach out to him and keep reaching out until he responds. If you can't get a hold of him through email or IG, there's a message system through BeatStars. Sometimes you have to use that. Sometimes we don't know what their primary or easiest mode of contact until we actually try it. So definitely look into that. Great question. And I definitely hope everything pan out for you. And if you're diligent enough, it definitely will. So hang in there, reach out to them, and get it done, man. Get it done. Clevo said, thank you, Artists Ballers Anonymous. Clevo, share the link. Share the link. So I could subscribe or whatever link you want to share, whether it's Spotify, whatever. I'll be sure to follow or anything like that. Oxford, thank you so much for joining in, brother, and everybody else who had joined in on IG here. I'm on YouTube answering music industry tip questions. If you want your questions answered today, just hop over to YouTube and ask the questions in the chat. Best question that's asked today will get a free gift on me. Chihuahua finally made it. All right, here's Chihuahua's question here. What's good, family? All right, so my question, Wes, I'm based in Canada. About from Zimbabwe, Africa, right? Yes. We. Oh, for those of you who don't know, Chihuahua is a personal friend. We actually make music together as well, and the track's almost done. Chihuahua, I forgot to send you the update, but I will soon. All right. Chihuahua actually hails from Africa, but he's in Canada now, right? He's a CHH artist like myself, so it's super dope. But the question is, I registered for Sound Exchange and was doing the final details to get payments coming to me, but this man lined it up like a movie, to be continued, right? I put in my country of birth and my citizenship and place of residence, but the issue is it's not saving my edit as it should be. It's saving as the opposite. What do I do before I press save? I would contact them. I would definitely contact them because you don't want to get denied, right? You don't want to get denied, or you don't want to go through the process again. I would just contact them personally just to get a follow-up with them. Now, that is a great question. Let me just look and see how can we contact them? Because if somebody else who watches this video later has that same issue, okay, well, that's crazy. Chihuahua, that's crazy, right? Soon as Sound Exchange, contact. Look, big old button that says contact. That's crazy. Okay, but here we go. Let's see. Registering. Okay, they got all their information out here. They got their address. There's their phone number right there, Chihuahuas. All right, check out their website. Give them a call. All right, and just make sure that you do it the right way. Their phone number's right there, and here's all their links right here. So their email, their phone number again, or this looks to be WhatsApp actually. Wow, they have a WhatsApp. That's crazy. All right, Facebook, all of that. Get in contact with them and just double check why it's doing that. And maybe it has to be submitted like that in the beginning. I'm not quite sure because that's not something that I dealt with before. But you could definitely contact with them. Just head over to their main website, or even better, Chihuahuas. I'm gonna put this link right here. All right, so that's the link to that. And yeah, give them a call, and don't just save it. And don't just save it if it's not saving the right way. Give them a call first and just make sure, and then see what happens. See what happens with that. All right. Let's see. And if Fitness Fakir said, thanks for answering, bro. For sure. Kazakage, for real. Thanks for the wise words. Most def, I appreciate it. Thank you for joining in, and thank you for just being a part of the community, because literally we're all here to learn together. Shout out to Canada. Yes, for sure. CHHJ, thank you for joining in. I'm really on IG to let everybody know that I'm on YouTube answering music industry tip questions. If you want your questions answered, head over to YouTube. Best question that's asked today will get a free gift on me. All right, Chihuahua said, I did, and they said you can edit. I tried, and it still ain't editing properly. Chihuahua, you need to call them back and be like, bro, I tried, and that junk is not editing properly. You call them back and tell them again. Tell them you tried to edit it. It won't let you. It keeps changing back to it. And then just ask them, is there another way that you could finish the process? Ask them if there's another way, because it seems like it might be some issue with the website, right? Maybe it's something that they don't typically deal with, because I know, you're born in Africa, you're in Canada now, so I don't know how. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but get on them. Give them a call again. Let them know that it's not working. It keeps changing back for some reason, and hopefully they could help. Hopefully they could figure it out for you. But not even hopefully, you got to get it working. You cannot miss out on the royalties that Sound Exchange has. So get on them, call them again, and let me know what they say. DM me, let me know what they say, and like Cat, who is it? Cat Williams. We'll figure it out together. You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. Let me know if that doesn't work, and then we'll figure it out together, because I got to make sure you got everything set up properly. Because when we drop our track, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that you get everything that is due to you for sure. So get at me and let me know how that process is going on for sure. But these are some great questions, guys. I love all the questions that have been asked so far today. You know, I appreciate everybody for donating and just being part of this and this, that, and the third. I'll ask one more question or answer one more question here, and it's actually through the group of questions that I've collected throughout the week. I just feel like there is one of them that I really wanted to answer. I don't remember which one it was, but I just want to make sure. Okay, it wasn't this one. I think it was this one. Okay. So, how to release a? Yeah, I want to do this one because this one was actually a really good question. So I want to just make sure I get to this one. The question is, what if it's 3 artist collaborations? So with DistroKid, when you want to do a collaboration song, right, there's a certain way that you have to do it by putting the and. You put the word and in between it. And what the question was asked, it was asked by Neymar, right? And he asked it. He commented on the DistroKid video, and the question was, how do you collaborate with 3 artists? Now, if you don't know the difference between a collaboration and a feature, the feature is another word for feature can be guest appearance. You're a guest on the song, right? It's my song. You're a guest on there. I invited you on here. You're a feature. A collaboration is it's both of our songs. It is our song. It's split literally 50-50 if it's 2, and it's split 33-33 if it's 3 people. So a collaboration will show up on every person who's part of the collaborations platform. So it'll be the song, like if me and Chihuahua did a collaboration, I would have a new release and he would have a new release, and it would be the first song on both of our pages because it's a collaboration, right? It's his release and my release at the same dang time, right? Feature is just a feature. It's a special guest. It's still the primary artist. It's still the owner, but a collaboration is different. So when you're dealing with collaborations, there's a certain way that you have to do it on the distribution platform, all right? Now, DistroKid, he was particularly asking for DistroKid, but when you're doing collaborations on DistroKid, right? And for, who was it that asked earlier? Clevo, I was asking about mixtapes earlier, and, but this is one of the distribution platforms. This is actually DistroKid, right? For DistroKid specifically, since that what the answer was for specifically, here's where you actually put in your artist name, and here's where you actually put in your collaborations, right? When it comes to features, you would put features in another location that's further down right here. This is where you would put the features, add featured artists to the song title. This is where you put the actual features, right? And then once you put yes, you put the name of the feature and everything like that. Again, that's the special guest. If it's a collaboration, you actually have to go to the artist name because the artist names all have equal share to the song, and literally all you have to do is put and. So it will be Connect and Chihuahuas, for example. Now it is a collaboration, and as you can see here, they're gonna ask you 2 things: is it a collaboration or is it a band name? Because you know some band names are literally have the word and in it, so they just want to know, is it a band name or is it actually a collaboration? Hootie and the Blowfish is an example, right? They're not 2 separate artists, Hootie and then the Blowfish. No, that's the name of the band, right? So they're asking you if it's the band name or if it's a collaboration. You would click on collaboration. As you can see here, this album, let me scroll up a little bit. This album will appear on Paul McCartney's iTunes page and also Stevie Wonder's. It also appears if someone does a search for Paul McCartney or Stevie Wonder. Again, it's literally both of their songs at the same time. Even if either or both of the collaborations don't yet have anything else on iTunes, you should still choose this. This is what you would do. Now, the question that was asked, what if it's 3 people? How do I do it if it's 3 people? Well, very easy. Space, and that bad boy one more time, and put in the third name of the artist. Literally, that's it. And then you would just put, I don't know, Tab Mateo, another artist I work with, right? And that's it. And it'll be a collaboration between the 3 of us. If it's 4 people, put and then put the 4th person. That's all you got to do. And the bottom Once you get to the bottom, there's going to be a section here that they're just going to make sure, which is the artist mapping. They're just going to make sure that it's going to appear on all the right pages, right? On Chihuahua's page, on Taz's page, and so on and so forth, right? And you just want to make sure it's going to go to their right Spotify, their right Apple Music, and all of that other stuff. It'll get complicated, but that's your decision when you decided to do a 3-man collaboration, right? But that's the answer to that. And of course, you want to, when it comes to the royalties, you want to make sure it's split all the right ways and things like that. It can get really complex, especially when you're dealing with producers and percentages and things like that. So that stuff gets really, really wild and can get really, really crazy quickly, right? So, but you also want to make sure you do it the right way. So if you ever need help with that, anyone who's watching now or anyone who rewatches it, you could always contact me and we could do a music business coaching session, and I can help you walk through that whole process. But it is a lot and it can get tricky. You just want to make sure everybody get their right percentages so that you don't get sued, period, right? So yeah. That was that there. And let me see. Chihuahua said facts. Kazakage said true. Appreciate you. And Kazakage has one more question here, and this will be the last question of the day. Is there a content ID option when you upload on DistroKid? Yes, there actually is. Great question. And just close the page. I'll open it again. Here we go. YouTube content, and most distribution companies do have YouTube content ID, by the way, Kazakage. So yes, that's something that you're going to see come standard. All right. DistroKid does have that option, but you do have to pay extra for it. DistroKid is one of the only people who make you pay extra for YouTube content ID, which is my biggest thumbs down for DistroKid, right? But that's really their only thumbs down. Other distribution companies have way more, but as you can see, it's right here. YouTube content ID and YouTube creator music, right? It's an extra $4 a year to actually have the YouTube content ID on that song, and they're going to keep 20% of the revenue, but that is standard. That is pretty standard. Most distribution companies is going to keep 20% of your YouTube content ID. That's just the law of the land. There's only one distribution that says they'll give you 100%. I don't know how, because I thought that this was more of a YouTube thing than a distribution thing, but there is a company that claims they could do it 100%. I got a video on that as well if you guys want to look into that. But yes, DistroKid does have YouTube content ID. It's right here. You just opt into it, and then you'll have it as part of your music. You'll have it as part of your beats and things like that. Thanks. You're very, very welcome, for sure. And like I said, it pretty much comes standard for every distribution, so definitely look into that, all right? And definitely check out that video that I did with the top music distribution companies, all right, and see which one's going to be the right fit for you, all right? But don't be afraid of making a bad decision, because you could always change. You could always go migrate to another distribution company if it's not panning out for you, all right? So don't be afraid. Make the decision and get that music out. You know what I'm saying? Get the music out and get it done. But I appreciate all the great questions today. You guys been great. You guys been awesome. A lot of great questions all throughout the board here. So now it is finally time to announce the winner. I'm going to just review the questions one more time just to see what the best question is for today. All right. Niles had a very, very great question. So did the bookkeeper. Loved his question as well. All right, the faith question was major. I love that question. And, you know, and I'm trying not to be biased with it, but that was a great question. The streaming platforms to drop mixtape was also a great question as well. What is the best and trustworthy distribution right now? Good question. I already had the video for that. Fitness for care. Yes, that was a great question as far as the being in the right place to migrate for music. Great question there as well. All right. Let's see what else we have. We have Kazakage's question about getting in contact. Yeah, Chihuahua's about Sound Exchange. That was a great question by Chihuahua. I didn't even know that was a thing, and I want to find out why that's not working for him. That might have took it, to be honest with you guys, because typically I do it this way. Whatever question leads me to making another video on there, making another tech tip videos, which I release every Thursday. I release a new tech tip video every Thursday. I don't even remember when I started doing it, but I have been religiously releasing a new tip video every Thursday. Most people find out about my channel through one of those tip videos, but I release it every Thursday. Anytime a question that's asked to get me to want to make a new video or to make me want to research it more, or if I don't know the answer to it, that's typically the best questions for me. So with that being said, the winner of today will actually be Chiwas. I think Chiwas asked a very, very great question with Sound Exchange, and it's a very, very important question. We have to figure that out, and I'm sure if there's anybody else out there who was born in one country but lives in another country, I'm sure that they're probably going to run across the same issues as well. So I'm gonna figure out how and why that's doing what it's doing with Chiwas, and then once we figure it out, I'm then going to make a video on it for those out there who might have that same issue. And that's why I love doing these things here. But Chiwas, you are in fact the winner of the free ebook. All right, it's the 13 steps to jumpstart your music business. All right, now of course this book here, I actually have it in physical form as well. All right, it's available on my website. The paperback form is available on my website, but I have an ebook as well. All right, and basically this is the book that I have my 13 steps to jumpstart the music business. Right, if you want to know how to actually have your own music business, all the things that you have to do to put yourself in a position to do music full-time. Like myself, I've been doing music full-time for years, and I want the same thing for every single one of you guys who are a part of my community. I want you guys to be able to just live off of your music and just only have to wake up and do music. In order to do that, there are some steps, there are things that you have to learn. This book has all of those things, all of the important things, all the fundamental things that you need to know and start your music business the right way, from picking the right producer or picking the right recording studio all the way to creating and getting your own LLC, right? It's all in that book. Chiwas, you just won the free ebook version of it, all right? But if you guys want to, grab this ebook, it's worth every penny of it, trust me, and it is available on my website. WStream, for sure, I am in the same case like Chiwas, for sure. Okay, see, you're in the same case. So see, that's why it's important. And I think Chiwas asked one more question. So after the year, I got to repay for Content ID, and if I don't pay, yes. Okay, so for you're talking about for DistroKid and the YouTube Content ID and Kazakage, I think was reconfirming that. But yes, so it's $5 a year, and they will withdraw $5 a year for that particular song. Yes, they will absolutely do that. That's why when it comes to YouTube Content ID, DistroKid is the most expensive when it comes to that, right? But again, I look at it this way: DistroKid, if we're just looking at price wise and you're just trying to save the most money as possible, stay away from DistroKid, because DistroKid is one of the more expensive ones because of YouTube Content ID alone. And there are some other things, but there's ways around not having to pay for those other things. But YouTube Content ID is one of those things that you can't avoid, right? So think of DistroKid like a more high-end car, right? Like DistroKid has so much more benefits and so much more features and so much more things than other distribution companies, right? They make you pay for that, right? There's a reason why luxury cars are more expensive than other cars, right? Because they offer you way more features, way more abilities, way more things, and they're more reliable. All of those things are the same reason DistroKid is DistroKid, right? Per month, DistroKid isn't much. Once you add some of those add-ons like YouTube Content ID, it gets a little bit pricey. But it's worth it because DistroKid is the most reliable distribution company on the market. And DistroKid has some of the greatest benefits and features on the market when it comes to music distribution companies, right? So it's a give and take, but it's really finding your balance on what works best for you. That's what it's always going to ultimately come down to, all right? I don't even think DistroKid made my list for the top distributions for this year, to be honest with you. But so if you're with DistroKid, I can understand if you may want to look into another distribution company. Me myself, to be completely candid with you guys, I'm actually transitioning from DistroKid to Symphonic as we speak, right? Because I feel like after researching Symphonic, I actually signed up with them. I looked into them and things like that. Symphonic is the only other distribution company that I have found so far that have about the same amount of benefits and features that DistroKid has. DistroKid still beats them out, and they got a lot of stuff. DistroKid still beats them out as far as those things, but all the things that I particularly use, Symphonic has it. So I'm actually making that transition myself. All right. So if you guys want to look into Symphonic, that's definitely something I would definitely consider you guys to look into. And I think was one of my recommendations. Symphonic was one of my recommendations for this year's as far as the best distributors. So definitely look into Symphonic. That's what I'm transitioning into. But again, to each his own. You make your own choices, all right? And don't come running to me if you're not happy with where you're going, because at the end of the day, it's your choice. It's your music career. But DistroKid has never failed me. You know what I'm saying? I've never had any issues with them. You know, even when it came to my music showing up in the wrong places because my name might have been shared with somebody else, it's very, very easy to fix. Like DistroKid, I had no complaints of DistroKid except for their price. Literally, right? The only reason I looked into the Symphonic is because I was trying to find something that had all the features DistroKid had, but a little bit less, right? So that's why I'm looking into Symphonic. But again, use your own discernment, do your research, and pray on it, all of those good things before you make any decision when it comes to anything. Like I said earlier in this live, all right, pray before everything. Take your time before you make any decision. This wasn't spur of the moment for me. I took some time before I decided to actually make this transition, and even the transition process right now, I'm doing it very slow and doing it very smart. So that's my 2 cents when it comes to DistroKid and its content ID and everything else. All right, but Chiwas, again, thank you for joining in. Everybody else, thank you guys for joining in. The ebook is on you, Chiwas. Just contact me on DMs. We got our contact information anyway, so I'm gonna get that sent out to you, brother. I hope you enjoy it. And lastly, of course, guys, if you want to be a part of my membership club, definitely look into it. Right, you get really cool perks like priority replies, members only exclusive walkthrough videos, and monthly music business coaching sessions. All you got to do is hit that join button on the top of the video if you want to participate in that. All right, guys. But again, thank you all for joining in. I hope to see you guys next week with some more questions. Literally jot down questions that you guys may have throughout the week, and join me here again next week at noon to go over more music industry tip questions. All right. Love y'all. Thank you everyone for joining in, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.